All right, cool. Yeah. So yeah, just testing this out. So I got this magazine in the mail. This is literally from 1986. Can't see it there, but it is a Computes Gazette. And this was, I'm pretty sure I remember reading these as kids, as a kid, not kids plural. But I'll probably go through this in some more detail later. But the main thing is I want to show this. Where is it? So this is, hey, not that one. So this is a computer program. I'm going to focus in on that. So it actually distributes, they distributed computer programs in magazines back in the 80s, and you actually typed them in. Some of them you typed in like basic commands, which we're going to do a bit of tonight. And some you typed in like the hexadecimal machine language code, 1 byte at a time. This was done for a lot of different platforms, a lot of different magazines back in the 80s because mailing out floppy disks was expensive. Cover disks became more of a thing like in the 90s, especially once they got smaller, like the 3.5-inch floppies. They were a little bit more durable on the magazines. But what I'm going to do tonight, just to kind of mess around and make sure all this whole setup is working, is I'm going to write up this program called the Automatic Proofreader. The Automatic Proofreader basically allows you to type in basic programs. So, you know, Commodore 64 Basic like that, but it will give little checksums after every single line to make sure you've typed it in right, because a lot of the lines you have to type in, like, they look like that. So there's a lot of stuff going on there, and it's really easy to mistype something, and you don't know if you mistyped it until you've run it and maybe your computer blows up and you lose your whole program. So it was real dicey writing programs out of magazines back in the day. But today, just to test out this setup to make sure it's all right, we're going to type in the Automatic Proofreader and see how that goes. So we're going to do this one line at a time. I am using the Vice Commodore 64 emulator. It can emulate like Commodore 128 and PET computers, and I believe the VIC-20 as well. And we're just going to kind of go through this. And, you know, while we're here, let's, like, you know, talk about stuff. So to type in this program safely, I have a floppy disk mounted. So I actually have a floppy disk with a program on it. The floppy disk is number 8, and the program is ID number 8. And the program is called Test 1. Oh, I do not have that mounted. Hang on a second. Attach disk image, drive 8. Attach that. So I just put a floppy disk in my disk drive. Don't have the real thing because I don't have that much space. But the program is there, so I'm going to run it. And you see my amazing basic program, just 2 lines of code. So what we're going to do is we're going to type up the Automatic Proofreader. We're going to save it to disk as we go. And we're going to try to get this thing working so we can then type in the next program, which is the machine language code editor, which is the one I remember using younger. When I was younger, I helped type in a lot of these programs with this. So yeah, these are some very, compared to a lot of the software development I do nowadays, this is some really small stuff. Like, this is very tiny code. I can imagine that some of the things that I write nowadays, like one line of code would be blown up to as much machine language as is in this Automatic Proofreader program, like easily. But back in the day, computers were a lot simpler. Commodore 64 ran on a very simple processor called the 6502, and we're going to write a program for it. This is going to be in Commodore Basic. So I'm just going to go line by line. Let's see how far I can zoom in. And yeah, we're just going to kind of talk and hang out while I'm doing this. So tell me, how y'all doing today? Yeah, that would be hilarious. Hey, here is an entire, like, 200-page book. This is one of the textures for the character in the game. Excellent, DP Blair. Got any plans for the weekend?
773, low is 43, high was 44.
You know what? I should clear out my old program. Excellent, Nakamus. Computer troubles are a pain in the butt.
Equals 44. That could be 772.
Nice. Can't wait to see that. Semicolon, colon, if vec 42364, then print C64. So this little routine right here is taking a look at a spot in memory and trying to figure out what kind of computer, what kind of Commodore computer you're running this on. The VIC-20 was the earlier computer, the predecessor to the Commodore 64. Really, pretty popular education if I remember correctly. I don't know a whole lot about the VIC-20. I want to learn about it though. Equals 35158. Yeah, this purple looked even better, like on a really crappy CRT monitor. I screwed up that line. Now it's going to complain. VEC 35158 and graphic CLR print plus 4 and 16. We're going to save this. All right, line 50. This keyboard is not reacting well. VEC equals 35158. VEC. Oh, I already did that one. 17165. 45. High. Nice. Yeah, I'd like to see that. I messed around real briefly making levels for Doom. It was very more complicated than my brain could handle at the time. SA equals peak low plus 256 times peak high plus 6 ADR equals SA. Peek is a command that will let you look at a single byte in memory. Since the Commodore 64 only had 65,536 bytes of memory, you could very easily choose a location that you just wanted to look at. ADR equals SA. And just kind of load it. To 166. And poke does the opposite. It puts data into a spot in memory. Incrementing ADR. Now let's see what it's doing. That's how it's computing the checksum. Byte, poke, ADR, BIT, ADR, check bytes. So what this program is doing is it's going over the line of text that you type in. It's adding up all of the ASCII values, well, PETSCII values, and then it's going to create what's called a checksum out of that. And then you can use that checksum to verify in the magazine that the line you typed in is correct. Now, if check does not equal 2570, then print star error. Not that hard. Programming for the Commodore 64 is really, really simple. I did a little NES demo in this tool called 8-Bit Workshop, and that gives you all the tools to also build software for the Commodore 64. And you can build it in BASIC, or you can build it in machine language, and I think there's even a way to compile C code to be able to use on the 6502. And since you don't have to worry about like high resolution graphics, you just have to have pixel graphics and deal with the limitations of the Commodore 64. Compared to like building a game in Unity or like Unreal, it'd be much simpler. You'd have to learn some weird hardware stuff, but like the programs themselves would be pretty simple to build comparatively speaking. Just typing in data statements. Oh, it's checksumming itself. Oh wow, okay. So that line of code, line 70, actually checks itself before it starts running. That's wild. Yeah, when I was a little kid, I had no idea what any of this meant if I just typed it in out of magazines. FLF, HF, shuffle higher, RS. RS equals SA plus RF. HB equals int RS divided by 256. B equals RS minus 256 times HB. Wow, okay. I mean, don't let your memes be dreams. You know, you can do this. Full guides on making pixel middle fingers. HB equals int RS26. HB. Okay. Okay, yeah, it looks like another checksum. Go ahead and save. I do not miss typing in basic lines of code where there's line numbers. Don't miss this at all. Doing dumb shit in mods is a fantastic way to learn how to program. It's great because you know what the output should look like, and most of the heavy lifting has been done for you. Like, I know there's a lot of games out there that use Lua as a programming language for mods, and that is a great language to mess with. Like, it's amazing. Like, I think, like, World of Warcraft, I think it uses Lua for modding and scripting, and there's like a bunch of other games where there's some sort of scripting language built into it. It's almost trivial nowadays to like plug Lua into your into something and have it interact with the rest of the application. It's amazing what you can do nowadays. It really is. Poke. One of the things that you could do with Commodore 64 programs, as well as like Apple programs, is if you knew the memory addresses where, once the program was loaded, if you knew where the memory addresses were like data for like how many lives you had, or like how many lives you started with, stuff like that, you could actually poke those values into you could poke the data into those locations, and then when you start the game, suddenly you've got like, 5,000 lives. Well, probably 256 lives. And that's basically how the Game Genie worked. And those similar sort of like NES hacker things, it was just modifying memory, just like these poke and peek commands. Oh, there's a typo in this. I hope someone didn't type this in like this. But there should be a space there. I'm gonna submit a letter to the editor. How many people typed in those bad poke commands and like were completely confused as to why their program was not running at all? Yeah, it is. I am shocked every single time I look back at this old software, and especially like knowing how some of the hardware worked. It's like these things were held together with duct tape, and I don't know how anyone made useful things. But I might flip through the magazine when I'm done with this and show off like some of the stuff that they were trying to do. And for a computer that has almost no RAM and can barely render any graphics of any quality. I mean, you get good quality out of Commodore 64, but like it was amazing what some folks were able to do with that. Like there was an ad for like the Bard's Tale RPG, like right in the beginning of the magazine. I remember playing that as a kid. It's like this was a big game. +1, poke, peek, low, +256 times peak high, -1, count 0, new. Oh, I see. Oh, clever. Okay. So what this program is doing is you load it into memory. It does a bunch of stuff. It has a bunch of machine language statements that are coming up next that hook into parts of BASIC, that hook into the BASIC engine, where once programs get typed in. And then we'll print out that checksum when you're done typing in a line. But it's basically loading itself into memory and then clearing itself out of memory after it's hacked your hardware. So you've basically patched the BASIC interpreter on your computer in order to be able to do this thing, which is just wild to think about. And now it is all of these data statements. It's just nothing but data statements with all these numbers all the way through. This is not going to be fun. I'm not looking forward to this. But this is how you did it. This is how you did it back in the mid-'80s. Or you bought like floppy disks. 73, 141. This is the spot when having some sort of marker is helpful. Yeah, absolutely, Tyrell. This will definitely be up. There is certainly no copyrighted music to get dinged on. So, like, this will be up. You can watch me very slowly and very carefully type in this program that is laid out so strange in this magazine. Why did they have a line break right there? Oh my goodness. 73, 141, 43, 169, 3, 141, 5, 3. Oh my goodness. Just gonna hold this down. I just got this magazine off of eBay. I'm not like, I don't want to damage it because it's like, yeah. you know, data 88, 96, 65, 20, 167, 165, 21, 133, 168, 169. You just go to the software store. You go to like Kmart and you buy a Commodore 64 game. 20, 133, 167, 165, 21, 133, 68, 169. But yeah, this is kind of like how I started off doing software development. Just typing in this random crap. And yeah, again, I had no idea what any of it meant. 41, 0 to 55, 31, 18. Oh, 181. So annoying. 57, 227, 3. Like, I really want to know how many people mistyped this with this horrible, horrible layout in here. 190, data, 202, 16, 248, 169, 19, 210, 255, 169, 18, 32. Let's go ahead and save this. Data 210, 160, 0, 2, 180, 32, 176, 36, 230, 180, 210, 255, 160, 0, 132, 180, 132, 176, 36, 230, 180. So what is the oldest computer y'all have ever used? Not the one you own, but like that you've ever messed around with. Like, you know, like a computer fair or like a MagFest or something like that. Or at school. I think Maniac Mansion was like on everything. I know it was on NES. It had a weird password system. Oh, the turtle's great. Logo is I did a lot. Like, so you messed around using Logo, like doing the drawing commands with the turtle, right? Logo was great. I definitely messed with Logo when I was a kid too. I think it's still around. Like, you can still find Logo interpreters. Oh, the big yeah. I've never used the big floppy disk. Like, I've never had like the 8-inch or 9-inch floppy disk. I've never used those. I've seen them, but these look absolutely wild. You ever take apart a floppy disk? Hey, Beric. I am typing in a Commodore 64 program out of a magazine. This is something I used to do a long time ago, and I wanted to see just what it was like for an upcoming video. We're talking about the first computer we've ever used, like the oldest one, and if you've ever taken apart a floppy disk before. Oh yeah, I think I've had just those kind of cheat sheets where like every single program loaded differently. It had different like commands. Um, Definitely remember making some of those, especially for Commodore, especially for like Commodore 64 programs, which were so strange to start. Oh, instead of floppy disks, you gotta find ones that just don't work anymore, and then just rip them open. 105. Three, 168, 202, 208, 239, 240, 202, 165, 167, 169. All right, it's good. Save. Oh. 260, almost done. We'll see if this thing works. 3, 32, 210, 255. There actually is one in this magazine called Star Dragon. What I'm typing in right now is a piece of software to help me type in another piece of software to help me type in the game. But yeah, there is a thing in here. I'm on line 260. There's a thing in here called like Star Dragon that I'm probably going to end up typing in. Where is it? There we go. See, your wish is granted. There's a cool dragon. It's called Star Dragon. Yeah, we were saying earlier that like for a modern game or like a modern anything, I think actually Star Dragon is just a demo. Like there are actual games in here to type in, but I think Star Dragon is like a tech demo to show how you can push the Commodore 64 hardware a little bit. But there's definitely a couple of games in here that you can type in and probably play with 2 players. Like you could hook up Vice over the network and you each get a joystick and something, and I think you could actually get that to work. I should definitely try typing one in that'll do that. That'll be fun. 474. Okay, there's a bunch of 74s. There are 4 74s. But I was saying, like, yes, do it. Make an RPG. Make an RPG about making RPGs and the things you learn along the way. That's a pretty common one. 85, 211, 332, 210, 280. I always look at what's involved with making a game, and especially lately, because it's kind of like, nope, that's a lot of work. I think if I use like a builder, like an RPG builder, it'd be a lot easier, but I keep wanting to write like all the code myself, which is not good. Yep, I did. That is still up on Aminet, which is the Amiga software repository. It was an RPG I made called Final Existence, which stole heavily from how Chrono Trigger operated. It is up there. I actually found the source code for it, so like a future thing that I might do on here is like go over the source code from my old RPG engine that I wrote for the Amiga and just see what it was like to try to build a really complex game that actually had its own scripting language in it. Like I programmed the whole thing with its own scripting language, and I was like, I really want to see what that code looked like. And 20 years on, with a lot of experience, just look at it. I just want to see what that was like. But yeah, that was a cool game. Let's see, 169, 146, 32, 210, 255, 76, 86, 65, 66, 67, 300. Data 68, 69, 70, 71. This is interesting. Is it just padding out data? Looks like it is. No, it's not. 5, 77, 80, 81. Yeah, I know. That's like the danger of all creative endeavors. Yeah. Well, I mean, I've looked back at my artwork from back then, and I don't like it. Like, I do not like my artwork from back then at all. 13, 2, 7. Oh, it's a long one. 31, 32, 151, 16, 17, 51, 128, 129, 130. So we're almost there. We made it. 16, 117, 151, 128, 129, 167, 136, 137. Okay. All right, let's get fresh memory and load proof 8 and run. And let's see if we typed it in correctly. Well, it didn't blow up. But let's try typing in a line from MLX. See if we get the checksums. So we should get EK out of that. 100. Poke. 56. 50. CLR. Dim. In $sign. IJAB. Oh, classic variable names here. A7. N $sign. All right, we should get a checksum of EK. We got nothing. Okay. How's this supposed to work? Oh no. Did I not save that correctly? Did I just blow up all that? That wouldn't surprise me. That would not surprise me. Wow. What did I do wrong? Okay, is there like a save overwrite? Alright, I gotta look this up. That literally does not surprise me. That's something I would have done when I was a kid. And then have to type it all over again. Well now, you learn something new every day. Okay, let's try it. So, apparently, Commodore 64 does not support saving and replacing a file on the file system. So me saving proof like that doesn't work. Apparently the way that folks do it is by the old school save proof 1 or proof 2, and then they delete the old files. So I don't know if you all want to stick around, because I'm going to be typing this in again. Let's make sure this works this time. 17165, then low equals 45. But this is the joy of old computers. Or maybe not joy, but you know what I mean. 46. Graphics CLR. Print. 128. Yeah, basically. I should do it a lot faster now, right? Hey, this is just better. This is just practice for this Twitch stream, so that when I start typing in even more complex stuff out of this magazine, I know how to do it. So this is the throwaway episode. Welcome to the throwaway episode of me typing in stuff out of a magazine. This one is just throwaway. Data statements. But I also just looked up how to check, like if I type this stuff in. So I'm just gonna type it all in. We're just typing it all in. We're gonna see what happens. One hundred. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. Can I list only a couple? Okay. Good. Load program and check final line. One of the bad things about having basic programs where there are line numbers like this is if you're doing development and you need to shuffle code around, you only have as much space as you have between the numbers. So if I wanted to add a statement between 110 and 120, I've only got 8 lines of code or 9 lines of code available. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 lines of code available to potentially get whatever I need the function to work correctly is. It was a thing. It was a limitation that I had for a long time because my early programming was beyond just typing stuff out of a magazine. Was on a Commodore 128, which just had a more advanced version of this basic, and I really don't know how I wrote anything of any complexity with, or how anybody wrote anything of any complexity with basic line numbers like this, but they did. Honestly, I'd rather just write it in machine language at this point. 23. Poke SS right here through the buggy lines. Poke SA plus 139, 224. Alright, so we're going to save proof 2 on the floppy drive. Oh crap, I missed a line. 120. Poke SA plus 29, 224. Poke SA plus 39, 224. 140. Print. Character 147. Character 17. It must be magic symbols or whatever. Proofreader active. SSA. $150. Poke high. Peak high plus 1. Poke. Peak. Low. 6. poke high, peak high plus 1, poke, peak, low plus 256 times peak high, minus 1, 0, new. All right. There are all these data statements again. 20, 169, 73, 143, 169, 3, 141, 53, 3, 41, 43, 169, 3, 141, 53. All right, DP Blair, thanks for hanging out. I'll let you know if I actually type this in correctly and save it correctly. Thank you. Really hate the typesetting in this magazine so much, especially when you want you to type these programs in by hand. See, 248, 169, 19, 210, 255, 169, 18, 32. The second time's a charm. Hopefully I don't have to go for a third. How many mouse pointers in the way? Get out of there. Get out of there, mouse pointer. Before I go any farther, I'm going to look up and see how to get a list of files on a floppy drive. Basic list of files on drive. Are you kidding me? Apparently trying to get the list of files on a floppy drive will wipe the program that you're typing in from memory. So you're just going to have to YOLO it. Proof 4. I'm actually going to cheat. See if I can see the disk image from here. Yep, okay, yeah, proof 4 is on there. Good. Emulators, 220, data, 165, 76, 73, 133, 76, 72, 201, 208. 7, 1, 55, 176, 3, 104, 208, 226, 104, 180. Data 0, 133, 168, 202. Is me talking into the microphone like this while I'm typing out the numbers too ASMR-y? 290. All right, 300. And the big line. Nine, 137. Okay. Oh. All right, make sure that's all in there. All right, so it's saved. Gonna try running it and see if it blows up. Don't kill my computer. Hey! All right, it did a thing. So the proofreader is active. So I'm gonna try typing in a line from MLX, which is the machine language editor for the Commodore 64. And let's see if we actually get that checksum. 100 poke, 50 CLR dim in dollars, A dollars, B dollars, A7 and dollars. All right. Just gonna pull up. So she EK. Hey. Excellent. Well, that is basically what was planning on doing tonight. Just getting this file, this automatic proofreader typed in. This will make it a lot easier to type in the rest of the programs in the magazine. Here's that Star Dragon one, which is in a couple parts. So there's like a basic part, this part with sprites. It's actually not that long. By not that long, I mean it's like a single page of hexadecimal codes like this. So yeah, we'll try that one first because it's not too bad. Switcheroo also isn't that big a game either. That one is one they actually have on the cover. So we can try that out. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Probably going to try to do this again next week and start typing in the MLX editor. All right. Take care. See ya.